On this edition of Good Day DePaul, Chicago will have a new mayor. Lori Lightfoot has been voted out of office.
And Vallas and Brandon Johnson are moving on to the runoff election.
Also, the mass shooting at Michigan State University. DePaul safety officials react. I'm Ariana Allen.
And I'm Tavi Papazian, and this is Good Day DePaul.
Chicago's incumbent mayor, Lori Lightfoot, has been defeated in her bid for re-election. The former head of the Chicago Public Schools, Paul Vallas, was the leading vote-getter in the February 28th mayoral election. Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson was second. They will meet in a runoff election on April 4th. Good Day DePaul's Alyssa Gomez was at Vallas's headquarters and has this report.
It's been a long, intense battle between the 9 candidates running for Chicago's mayor. Though the race is not over, it's finally narrowed down to only 2 contestants, one of them being Paul Vallas. The former CEO of Chicago Public Schools announced his candidacy for Chicago mayor in June of last year. Since then, he's received much support, gaining endorsements from the Chicago Tribune, Alderman Tom Tunney, the Chicago chapter of the Fraternal Order of Police, and the Chicago Police Union. Vallas's election night festivities were held at a venue called City Hall, fitting for a candidate running for mayor. It quickly filled with supporters anxiously awaiting to hear the results. Cheers were heard from the crowd as Vallas secured his position in the April runoff, winning about 34% of the vote. Shortly after, Vallas took to the stage to address the crowd.
I haven't been this happy since my son returned from Afghanistan.
He discussed the issues of public safety and decreasing crime, issues that much of his campaign has been based on.
Public safety is the fundamental right of every American. It is a civil right. And it is a principal responsibility of government. And we will have a safe Chicago. We will make Chicago the safest city in America. And it will not only come from providing the police with the resources and the support they need, but from building the bond between the police department and the community.
He then touched on the importance of investing in the public school system.
The money needs to follow the kids back into the community. And our schools need to be open through the evening, through the weekends, during the holidays, through the summer. And we need to bring the community into the schools, the faith-based organizations into the schools, the park districts into the schools. So we have programs and supports for our children, and we can keep them in safe and secure environments.
Vallas says he supports women's rights, marriage equality, and investing in Chicago's poorest communities, finally ending with his commitment to public service.
Public service is in my DNA. I have never thought of doing anything else. My pledge to you is that I'm running for mayor to be the mayor of all Chicago.
Paul Vallas will face Brandon Johnson in the April runoff. For Good Day DePaul, Alyssa Gomez.
The question now is, what led to Mayor Lightfoot's defeat and the strong showing of Vallas and Johnson? Good Day DePaul's Lily Lowndes has our report.
A few months ago, they said they didn't know who I was. Well, if you didn't know, now you know.
That was Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson. After Election Day, not only Chicagoans, but people across America know who he is. One of the 2 mayoral candidates advancing to Chicago's runoff election.
This city has never really been the city that works for everyone, but it will be when I am mayor.
And that was Paul Vallas, former CEO of Chicago Public Schools and the candidate who finished on Election Day with the most votes. The last day of February marked Election Day in Chicago. A record number of voters cast their ballots through mail and early voting. Voters in older age groups were the most represented in the election. People like Mary Simpson say older voters are used to performing their civic duty.
It's a very long-standing habit. It just feels like that's what you should do.
In Chicago, if no candidate receives 50% of the votes in the mayoral election, the top two candidates advance to a runoff election on April 4th. That's exactly what happened in the race for mayor. Political expert and DePaul journalism professor Chris Beery says the wide field of 9 candidates made it easy to predict a runoff, but difficult to predict who the top two candidates would be.
In the last few weeks, it was pretty clear that Paul Vallas was going to get one of the two spots, but it wasn't at all clear among Mayor Lightfoot, Brandon Johnson, and Chuy Garcia who would get the second runoff spot.
Incumbent Mayor Lori Lightfoot was unsuccessful in her bid for a second term, becoming the first Chicago mayor in nearly 40 years to fail in a re-election campaign. Beery cited the pandemic, high crime, and fighting with political adversaries and allies alike for why many people did not vote for Lightfoot.
So at the end of the day, this referendum was about Lori Lightfoot. And it was clear from the results that most Chicagoans were not satisfied with her tenure over the last 4 years. And that's the major reason why she lost.
Beery says that right now Vallas and Johnson are evenly matched. The two have very different approaches to Chicago's top issue, crime. Vallas is pro-police, while Johnson has been vocal about using alternative methods to deal with crime. Ultimately, it will come down to how well the two candidates can spread their message leading up to the April 4th runoff. Until then,
it's going to be a wild 5 weeks. Buckle your seatbelts.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Lily Lowndes.
For Mayor Lightfoot, it was a challenging 4 years as mayor, much of it dominated by the COVID-19 pandemic and the continuing problem of crime. It all ended with her failing to make the runoff election. Chicago's 56th mayor gave her concession speech last night a little before 9 p.m. to a cheering crowd after receiving only 17% of votes. We love Lori! We love Lori! Lightfoot spoke for about 7 minutes, looking back on her time spent working to become mayor and speaking on things she feels must continue in the next mayoral term.
I told you back then that anything is possible with hard work. And I want you to know that no matter what happens along the way, you should always believe that. I am grateful to the millions of Chicagoans who came together as we made tough decisions, saw the struggles of our frontline workers, and beat back a deadly pandemic. I'm grateful that we worked together to remove a record number of guns off our streets, reduce homicides, and started making real progress on public safety. I am honored to have been a partner in the work, which, as I said, must continue. I'm eternally grateful to everyone who gave us their time, support, and money and prayers. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. God bless this incredible city. It's been the honor of a lifetime to be mayor. There's more work to do. And I just want to say thank you all deeply, deeply from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Lori Lightfoot was Chicago's first female and first openly gay mayor, beating out Toni Preckwinkle in their 2019 runoff election. During her time as mayor, she helped to pilot the city's first co-responder program, which sends mental health professionals out with police when responding to mental health-related 911 calls. She also worked to solidify plans for the new casino coming to the city, which some say will bring in $200 million in revenue. Lightfoot's mayoral run also included some controversial decisions, including her push to reopen schools during the pandemic that got major pushback from the Chicago Teachers Union. During civil unrest after the death of George Floyd, Lightfoot raised the city's bridges to keep protesters out of the downtown areas, a move that gathered criticism from several activist groups. Lightfoot's concession leaves the city's mayoral seat up for grabs in a runoff between Chicago Public Schools CEO Paul Vallas and Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson.
For Chicago's Hispanic community, the election was a disappointment, with Congressman Chuy Garcia missing the runoff election. Good Day DePaul's Stefania Rodriguez has the report.
It's election night in Chicago, and I'm here at the Apollo's 2000s Theater in Little Village, where mayoral candidate Jesus Chuy Garcia is hosting his election night party. There are a total of 9 mayoral candidates in the race, and with a high number of mail-in ballots, it's possible that Chicagoans may not find out who their next mayor is tonight. Music and supporters filled the room to wait and see how Congressman Garcia performed in the race. This was his second time running for mayor. He ran and lost in 2015. Garcia is a Democrat who's been described as a progressive throughout his political career. He's held various positions including Illinois State Senator, Chicago Alderman, and Cook County Board Commissioner. He currently serves as congressman in Illinois' 4th District. Alderman Mike Rodriguez endorsed Garcia for mayor and was there to speak about his candidacy.
Chuy Garcia has been a leader for 40 years. He believes in bringing people together, and he will continue to be that great leader. At the federal level, at the state level, at the city level, we need that kind of leadership, bringing people together to create positive change for everybody. Look, we did great on the southwest side of Chicago. We'll see what happens when the votes are counted tonight. A lot of votes still out there. We'll see what happens.
But Paul Vallas and Brandon Johnson were the top 2 finishers. They'll be competing in the runoff in April. As for Garcia, he stepped up to accept defeat.
We all have so much more to do, and I will never stop fighting for Chicago. We poured our hearts into this race for the past few months, and today we worked long hours.
While Garcia's run is over, he'll maintain his position as congressman. With some supporting city council members and other officials by his side on the stage, he said their work is far from over.
Tomorrow is not the time for us to stop. Tomorrow we get back up and we work harder. To show up like we've never shown up before and make sure that regardless of who occupies the 5th floor, they will be held accountable to us in every community in Chicago.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Stefania Rodriguez. Coming up on Good Day DePaul, the mass shooting at Michigan State University. How is DePaul dealing with campus security?
And in sports, a strong showing by DePaul at the Big East Track and Field Championships. Those stories when we return.
Today, the heroes that fight day in and day out on the front lines. Those who are there, innovating in real time, saving lives and answering the call to care in times of crisis. American nurses. Nurses who have been there for each and every one of us in times of crisis for more than 150 years. Nurses are the pillar of strength and the foundation of healthcare and life itself. Nurses are there the day we are born. They are there when your family is in crisis, and they are there in the end. In confronting the most catastrophic health crisis in modern history, we must remember our American nurse heroes need our support as much as we need them. To show our gratitude for their courage and ensure they receive the critical education and support services they need, donate to the Coronavirus Response Fund for Nurses today, in honor of your American nurse hero.
It's become a tragically familiar sight, a shooting on a college campus, this time at Michigan State University. I talked to DePaul officials about their procedures for dealing with shootings like this. After the recent shooting at Michigan State University, Campus Safety talks about what it takes to stay safe on campus. On the evening of February 13th, there was an active shooter on the campus of Michigan State University. The gunman, who later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, killed 3 students and critically injured 5 others. The shooting was one of more than 90 U.S. mass shootings that have happened in just the first 2 months of this year. DePaul Public Safety Director Bob Wachowski wants students to know that both campuses always have an active security detail.
Know that our public safety officers are on campus 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have people patrolling the campus. We also have 2 dispatch centers, one located at each campus that students can call into that with any issues on campus.
Wachowski says DePaul works closely with the Chicago Police Department to report safety-related issues that happen on campus, along with trying to resolve incidents that have already occurred at the university. DePaul Public Safety is also part of a threat assessment team that meets weekly to discuss different topics both on campus and nationwide. They talk about preventative measures and how to be proactive about campus safety. Cheryl Hover, DePaul's Associate Director of Emergency Management, wants students to know that one of the first steps in staying safe during an emergency is staying informed. On DePaul's campus, one of the ways to do this is to tap into the DPU alert system. That's a campus-wide emergency alert system that sends updates of emergency alerts to any student who opts in.
We want to make sure we have students' mobile number, like their current mobile number, so we can text in an emergency. DP Alert can also call. Most of our students pick that they want to text, and that's great because that's faster. So we definitely want to make sure we have that accurate information, especially if you're off campus. We want you to stay away from campus.
Students can opt into this alert system by updating their information in Campus Connect. Public safety also emphasizes planning ahead for emergency situations.
This is important to know where your exits are if something does happen. Not just an active shooter, but any kind of an emergency. If you have played it out in your mind what you would do in that type of situation, your chances of survival and getting out of that situation safe are much greater than if you waited for something to happen to you and you're going to be in panic mode because you never thought that this could happen to you. You won't know where to get out of an exit. Won't know what to do on the L and things like that.
DePaul's website has resources that deal with different emergency situations, ranging from bomb threats to hostage situations. The university's active shooter resource page goes over the 3 main options a student may have in the situation: run, hide, or fight. DePaul's website also includes a video on how to use a door barricade that can be found in several classrooms on campus. Wachowski reminds students that in any emergency, distance is one of the keys to safety.
One of the first things is get as far away from the scene as you can. Obviously, if it's safe to do so, get on the phone with 911, giving all the details that you can. But again, the primary thing is get as far away from what's happening as you can and make sure that you're safe somewhere, whether it be another building.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Ariana Allen.
In sports, the DePaul track and field team had a good showing at the Big East Championships here in Chicago. The Blue Demons women's team finished second overall, and the men's team finished third. DePaul had 3 first-place finishes: Billy Martin in women's weight throw, Cameron Addux in the men's 60-meter dash, and Jason Montano in the men's shot put.
The DePaul men's basketball team has now lost 10 straight games. The latest, a 90-84 defeat at Marquette.
The DePaul women's basketball team gave top-ranked Connecticut all it could handle, but the Demons fell short at the end. Good Day DePaul's Caleb Nixon was there.
Senior night at Wintrust Arena in the final home game of the year as 2 Hall of Fame coaches getting ready to square off in this Big East battle. Darion Rogers wasting no time getting settled in this game, pulls up from deep just 20 seconds into the game, getting her shot to go early. Aaliyah Edwards, the leading scorer for the Huskies, she gets on the board early as well, and Anissa Morrow, the All-American, doing what she does best, getting to the paint. She finished with 25 tonight, and we'll see many of her highlights here from the mid-range. Good. A highlight machine, this time getting right back into the paint. Can't finish here, but grabs her own rebound, goes back up and puts it in for 2. Again, doing what she does best, finishing up the half for both teams. Tie game, 37-37 as they head into the break. The Blue Demons hanging with the 4th-ranked team in the country. And getting started right where she left off, Anissa Morrow, the steal and the score. Easy layup for her to start the second half. But the Huskies and Nika Mule, the leading assister in this game, dishing it over for a 3-ball. Huskies sticking around in this one, taking the lead there. And right after that timeout, it's Darion Rogers from deep, responding with a 3 of her own. Heading into the fourth quarter, it's a 5-point Blue Demons lead. Anissa Morrow pushing that lead right back to 5. The turnaround off 1 foot, it's good. Anissa Morrow having her way, but Aubrey Griffin keeping the Huskies in this one. The 15-foot pull-up jumper for her. Right back to Anissa Morrow, the Blue Demons go. She gets it out the elbow, she attacks, goes to the fadeaway and drills it, and one. Anissa Morrow unable to convert the free throw, and Aaliyah Edwards capitalizes off that miss. The Huskies now rolling. Lou Lopez Seneschal, the reverse, puts this game at 65 apiece. They get the stop they need, and back to Edwards they go. Huskies up 2, and now the Blue Demons need a bucket. They go back to Morrow, but it's Ayanna Patterson swatting it away. The freshman out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, keeping the Huskies in it, and now they have a chance to go up 2 scores. Kick to the corner, Nika Mule, 3, puts the Huskies up 5. Anea Peoples looking for an answer, attacks the basket and gets fouled. She's going to get 2 free throws there, keeping the Blue Demons in this one. Now down 3 with just under a minute to go. They need a stop, and they get it. A missed layup. Coach Bruno again calling a timeout here, setting another play up for Anea Peoples. She's going to attack the paint. Nika Mule on her, crosses her over, and finishes with the right hand. Blue Demons down 1 with 17 to go. And again, it's Anea Peoples poking it away, giving the Blue Demons a chance to take the lead. But the defensive effort by the Huskies forces a jump ball. It's going back to the Huskies with just over 8 seconds to go. Ball inbounded to Nika Mule. She gets fouled, heading to the line for 2, and huge shots for her, putting the Huskies back up 3, 72-69 with just over 7 seconds to go. The Blue Demons are going to have one last chance. They're going right back to Anea Peoples. She gets to her spot, top of the key, puts it up, and it's no good. The Blue Demons fall just short. 72-69, the final score as the Blue Demons lose their 11th Big East game of the year.
We competed. We didn't execute in the fourth quarter on both sides of the ball. We needed some defensive stops, so we didn't get it. We needed a better offensive look, so we didn't get them, and that's why we blew a 5-point lead in the fourth and ended up dropping a good close game. But we didn't come here to play close. So, you know, we've been close all year. It's a group that's been really close all season. And I told the group before we started today, I really believe this is a team that should be winning 22, 23 games right now to 25 games. That's my take on our team, all right? And I don't run and hide from that. That's what I believe. I just believe we're good enough to have been there. And I don't care how many guards we've lost and how many people haven't played in certain games. That's just what I believe.
For DePaul to, you know, to come out on this short end of that, it's almost like, you know, they didn't necessarily lose the game, you know, like we just made some big plays at big moments to win the game, and it could have easily gone the other way, you know, these things, that's how they happen.
The Blue Demons will conclude the regular season this Monday in a road matchup against Marquette. They will then travel to Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut to start the Big East tournament on March 3rd. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Caleb Nixon.
And a few days later, the women's basketball team lost to Marquette in their final regular season game.
The DePaul men's tennis team has won 2 out of its last 3 games, beating Eastern Kentucky and Army, but losing to Cleveland State.
And the DePaul women's tennis team is on a roll, winning 5 in a row and bringing their overall record to 6-5.
In softball, DePaul went 2-2 in the Coach B Classic in Carbondale, Illinois.
Coming up on Good Day DePaul, religion at the university.
That story when we return.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie and matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There's something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match and you're really special to me.
As many of you know, DePaul is the largest Catholic university in the nation. And recently, some in the Catholic community here celebrated Ash Wednesday. But just how important is their religion to Catholics at DePaul? Good Day DePaul's Alyssa Gomez talked to some people at the university to get their opinions.
DePaul is the largest Catholic university in the country, so here, Lent is an extremely important time, a time for celebration and reflection. Even on a rainy Wednesday night, St. Vincent de Paul Church is packed with Mass attendees ready to receive their annual ashes on Ash Wednesday.
To me, it's a reminder of Jesus' suffering, just a reminder to us to go back to our roots, like we are dust and to dust we are returned.
Ash Wednesday kicks off the season of Lent. For DePaul student Maggie, the season is marked with traditions and reconnecting with her religion.
Lent is like this period of suffering, and Easter is rejoicing that the suffering is over. So it's like symbolizing Jesus, he suffers, he dies, but then he comes back. So it's a symbol of hope through all the suffering. At the end, there will be light.
According to the Pew Research Center, only 66% of college graduates identify as Christian upon leaving college, with only 20% of that group being Catholic. 9% identify with non-Christian faiths, and 25% say they don't affiliate with any faith. This is why DePaul's Vice President of Mission and Ministry, Father Guillermo Campesano, says faith can help college students through this time in their lives.
The tendency of our society is to isolate the human person. And the human person isolated is weakened and becomes a target of the consumeristic society and a target of loneliness and sadness, So religion, for me, the religious space is always a space of community and joy and celebration and support.
He feels DePaul's Catholic community is unique in their approach to faith, saying that the main pillars of our faith approach are sustainability and diversity, equity, and inclusion.
We are Catholic because we are inclusive. We are Catholic because this is a diverse community in which all are respected and protected in their own identities. That's very beautiful and powerful. And that's DePaul. And we are this way because we are Catholic. Not despite being Catholic, but because we are Catholic.
As the Lent season swings into full effect, DePaul is offering several services for the DePaul community to participate in.
During this month, during these 40 days of the Lenten time, we will have Lenten spiritual companionship sessions for students, faculty, and staff. We will have evening prayers in the style of Tezé on Tuesdays in the parish in collaboration with DePaul. We have Lenten faith sharing groups, small groups that will gather to share their faith. We have so many opportunities that the Division of Mission and Ministry has created to offer this time to people to pray more, to reflect more, to be together with others and share their faith.
For a full list of all resources the Division of Mission and Ministry is offering this Lenten season, you can go to the DePaul Division of Mission and Ministry website. For Good Day DePaul, Alyssa Gomez.
That's all for this week's edition of Good Day DePaul. You can keep up with us by visiting our Vimeo channel at Good Day DePaul or by going to goodday.depaul.edu.
And make sure to check us out on Facebook.
And if you have any news tips, message us through the Good Day DePaul social media channels.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tavi Papazian.
And I'm Ariana Allen. Have a good day, DePaul.